I'm Senator Karkhanis speaking for the first time today. PO, please give me a signal when you're ready. Okay. Senators, I am in strong negation of a bill to fund NASA to colonize Mars. Allow me to justify with these 3 reasons. Firstly, $50 billion would be more effectively spent on Earth. Secondly, the conditions of Mars make it difficult for a person to survive on that planet. And finally, we already have a cheaper and better alternative to conduct research and without colonizing there. To begin, this money would be much better spent on our planet as opposed to funding it to go to another. In a 2003 study done by unwater.org, 783 million people do not have access to clean water, and almost 2.5 billion do not have access to adequate sanitation. A study report, according to CountryEconomy.com, the United States has ranked the #1 country that owes debt with over $18 trillion. We should be allotting this money to our planet Earth. This money can be used much more wisely if we apply it to our economy and the less fortunate people in this world. Moving on, the gravity level and conditions on Mars bring up a legitimate question on whether a person could really survive on that foreign planet. A study report conducted by NASA that was published on University.com stated that the effects of zero gravity are quite profound, with a loss of up to 5% muscle mass a week and 1% of bone density a month. In addition to this, Jean-Louis Santini, NASA's manager of science biology, stated, "Scientists need a minimum of 10 years to complete research about the trip's impact on the human body. Radiation makes a near trip impractical." So with all these implications in place, do we still want to spend billions and billions of dollars on a trip that will do nothing, absolutely nothing, but endanger each and every person going on a trip to Mars? Finally, telepresence or unmanned robots to planet Mars are better solutions than a colonization effort. We have been sending them for years, and they have been obtaining valuable information without much failure at all. The senator on the pro side argued that humans would be more capable on Mars as opposed to robots, but the Polaris project from Iowa State University does not agree with this. They say that there are more and more tasks that robots and computers can do and handle better, if not equal to astronauts. Plus, this method decreases and cuts the cost dramatically. According to CBS News, NASA's next Mars lander, the $425 million Phoenix-derived InSight machine, is scheduled for launch in 2016. We should continue to utilize these advanced technologies and send robots. All in all, I'm in negation for these 3 reasons. Are there any questions?
Yeah, that speech is 3 minutes, 4 seconds. Questions?
Senator, as you yourself have stated, because we have these robots that have been conducting research for years, when do you believe it's time to take the next step?
So this bill is saying that in the next 10 years we should be able to get men on Mars. This is highly impossible because of all the research remaining. I am not against colonizing on Mars. I just think that this is the incorrect time, and we should be using this $50 billion to maximize our capabilities for robots on Mars.
Senator, you're saying that we should spend this money on our planet. Don't you think we're trying to make Mars also our planet?
We want to, but we have so many people here. We have so many better resources on Earth. There's so much more money required than $50 billion to actually colonize and thrive on Mars. This is not the right time to take that step.
So when is the next time, the right time?
When we complete research that says that we can actually survive on Mars without any real issues.
Okay. Questions? Senator Kandarpa?
Senator, there's still major risks when we chose to go to the moon, yet again we did because we had more scientific research versus the risks. So don't we have that same presence here?
I'm sorry, Pia, could you ask her to repeat the question?
Senator, can you repeat the question?
Senator, take for example the moon expedition that I've said many times, that we had risks for that too. And maybe for some people that might have allowed the actual success. And aren't we presented with that same situation here?
Can I confirm what you're saying? Senator, are you trying to say that we had risks while putting robots on Mars as well? Is that what you're trying to?
But she said there were similar risks when we explored Moon. So don't you think there's always an inherent risk with these kind of expeditions?
Yes, that's true, and we do have the technology to do so. However, that's when we had no intel on how to get to the moon in the first place. Now that we already have robots there, why should we risk more lives by trying to get people on Mars? We have the robots, we should keep using them and maximize their capabilities.
Sir, don't you think everything has its own place? You're comparing sanitation problems to expedition to Mars. Do you think they compare that means we should also stop expeditions to International Space Station because we have to take care of sanitation in the world before?
We do, but when we go to the National Space Station, we're not risking lives. Going on, we have no confirmation that we can survive on Mars. We're still doing that research. Why should we risk lives when we can already, when we know that we know that we can go to the moon safely. We don't know that we can go to Mars safely.
Yeah, but we went to the moon. At that time, we did not know we could go there safely.
I mean, yeah.
Thank you.
That.